From the CSI Baseball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II baseball coverage live on the ECC Network. In today's conference matchup, the Mercy College Mavericks take on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, our scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you the pre-show each and every home game. And, Nick, this is a huge game for both teams, and right now it's tough to tell which team this game will matter to more. The Dolphins are looking to keep hopes of a series tie with the Mavericks alive in today's game and keep hopes of earning a tiebreaker at the end of the season alive. That tiebreaker could come into play when it comes to East Coast Conference playoff position.
Well, we saw on Friday, CSI really got out to a really bad start against the Mavericks, and the Mavericks took advantage of that and won that game 9-2. Then yesterday you had the doubleheader, Mavericks winning game one of that doubleheader 5-1. CSI got a big boost from John Esposito game number 2 with a complete game shutout to win 4-0. A win today would split the series with the Mavericks, so CSI really could afford this win for a multitude of reasons, but they really need a good pitching effort, Joe, from Stephen Kalika.
No question about that, Nick. And the Dolphins' offense really struggled in the first two games of this series. 2 runs in Game 1, just 1 run in Game 2. Finally broke through with 4 runs in Game 3. But we're used to seeing this Dolphins team score much more than that, and they really shook up their lineup in Game 2 yesterday as well in an effort to jumpstart the bats.
And you really need to do that when you're in this stretch of the season. You need to find players that are going to hit consistently and give you an opportunity to win games, especially when it's in conference play. So Mike Morrow really needs to make those changes. They did work in game number 2. We'll have to see how the lineup looks today and if it will help the Dolphins get a big-time win.
Well, Thomas Martin has found his way back into the lineup. A pair of 2-hit games yesterday. Hit a 3-run homer in a pinch-hitting appearance last weekend against Alliance University. But for the Dolphins yesterday, no hit was bigger than a 2 RBI double by Vincent Weigel in the 9th inning of Game 2. That game was scheduled for 7 innings. The Dolphins took the win in 9. They scored 4 in the top of the 9th. John Esposito, complete game shutout, his second shutout of the season. He has been fantastic for the Dolphins once again this year.
And in that game, Joe, allowed 5 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He has been a consistent unit for CSI's pitching staff on the season. They really needed that performance after losing Game 1 of that doubleheader. If they can get another good, strong performance today from Stephen Kalika, they'll have a really good opportunity to split this doubleheader and get another big conference win, which will be their 4th of the season.
Well, you said it, Nick. The Dolphins looking for a big performance from their starting pitcher, Stephen Kalika. On the other side, Gabriel Soto makes his first start of the season for Mercy College. He has pitched just 11 1/3 innings this year. That presents the Dolphins with an opportunity to perhaps get on the board early against a pitcher who is not accustomed to starting. Soto has appeared in 7 games this year. Opponents have hit .370 against him. Big opportunity for CSI.
And the last time Soto pitched was against Duville. He threw 2 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, allowed 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So CSI can take advantage early in this game and get some runs against Soto. They'll have a really good chance to win this game. They need to fix what they did on Friday, because a lot of times in that game on Friday, they would swing early bats, they would not get runs brought in, and that's why they lost that game.
And we will talk about what this game means to these two teams following the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back here on CSI Sportsnet. And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet, just moments away from first pitch between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College. Mavericks come in with a record on the season of 8-26 overall, 4-11 against the ECC. The Dolphins are 3-8 on the year, 11-19. I should say 11-19 on the season, 3-8 against the East Coast Conference. But, Nick, I was going to talk about, ahead of the national anthem, what this game means to these two teams. The Mavericks have just 8 conference games left on the schedule after today's matchup with CSI. They can lock up the tiebreaker over the Dolphins with a win in today's game. However, if the Mavericks lose, the Dolphins will be even in the win column in terms of conference record with 12 games remaining on their conference schedule. Big advantage for CSI in that area.
Well, Joe, really it's all about controlling your own destiny when it comes down to these games. CSI so far has not done that in this series against the Mavericks. If they can get a win today, they have a really good chance. We talked about it. CSI has more games than the Mavericks down the stretch of the season. That's key for CSI to getting these big-time wins and potentially getting into the playoffs. They got to focus on today, get a huge win. Kalika is coming off his last start was against Malloy. Pitched 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. If he can give the Dolphins some good quality innings today, they'll have a great opportunity to do so. They really need to get the win today, though, if they want to make the playoffs this year.
And ahead of the start of today's game, I'll get you the numbers for CSI starter Stephen Kalika. Kalika comes in having appeared in 8 games, including 4 starts. He's pitched to a record of 1-2 with a 6.67 ERA and 29 2/3. He's allowed 38 hits, 24 runs, 22 of those earned. He's walked 16 and struck out 18 opposing batters, hitting at .319 against him. And Kalika will face a Mercy College lineup that on Friday scored 9 times against Dolphins pitching. 5 runs between the 2 games for Mercy yesterday. They won Game 1 by a final score of 5-1. Were shut out in Game 2.
A big 17-hit performance from the Mavericks in Game number 1 of this 4-game series. Dolphins will try to keep their bats at bay and get a big-time win today to get some big momentum towards the stretch of the season.
Leading off for the Mavericks, Jaden Caballero. He was 5 for 5 on Friday against the Dolphins. First pitch of the game misses well outside for ball 1, and we are underway from the CSI Baseball Complex.
That 5 for 5 performance helped his batting average now increase to .299 on the season. One of the better hitters in this Maverick lineup. That's why he's leading off for Mercy today.
First pitch officially at 11:58 a.m. We get started just 2 minutes early here at CSI, and very quickly, Kalika has fallen behind 3-0.
Kalika needing to fix the command early in this game. A quick 3-0 count as he gets the strike there to now make it 3-1.
Kalika on the year has walked 16 and 29 2/3 as that's hit out to shallow right center, and that's down for a hit now. Taking a look toward the outfield, littered with yellow dandelions everywhere out there.
The wind, especially the rain yesterday, making a big reason why that's there. So we'll have to see if that affects any of the field conditions when it comes to some of these 5 balls hit. But nonetheless, the Mavericks get a leadoff single. They got a good runner at first base.
Nick Durst pointed that out on Friday, and you said it. The rain that hit the area yesterday definitely has facilitated that condition in the outfield. At the plate is Nolan Giblin. He's ahead 1-0. Comes in Mercy College's leading hitter. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1.
You said, Joe, he's hitting .306 on the season, 17 RBIs, and a .371 slugging percentage. So we'll like to bring home the runner from first, who does have good wheels. He's 10 of 11 on the season in stolen bases. So dangerous runner at first for the Mavericks.
And that will move him up to second, as Caballero will advance on what I think will go down as a wild pitch.
Yeah, that'll be a wild pitch. And that's something early on Kalika cannot afford to have. Now runner in scoring position, first base open, really could use a huge first out here behind the count 2-1.
Kalika's pitch is off the inside corner for ball 3. We spoke about it on Friday. Maverick starter Scott Sheppy working very quickly. Kalika may work even faster as he gets a swing and a miss there to run the count full.
And he got him to chase on that one. That would have been ball 4. It's a huge swing and a miss, and now 3-2 count. Big pitch coming up from Kalika here.
Runner in scoring position for the Mavericks. Nobody out. Payoff pitch to Giblin on its way. And that's chopped right back to the mound. Kalika throws to first in time, and that's a big first out.
That is huge for Kalika there. That goes right past him. That could go up the middle and get an RBI single for the Mavericks. Instead, he shows a nice flash of the leather there, and a big out number 1 for the Dolphins with that runner still at second base.
Coming to the plate for the Mavericks will be Justin Glenister. Glenister comes in hitting .260 on the season. Kalika comes set, checks the runner at second, who has a nice-sized lead. And that's popped up. On the infield, and Ulaj has it right in front of second base. And we haven't seen Ulaj play second at all here at home, if I'm not mistaken. He played second base a couple of times yesterday.
And the reason being is that you need to keep his bat in the lineup. Cannot really afford to take him out of the lineup, and Martin has also been swinging hot as of late, as you mentioned earlier. So Shendy getting the start at second base, courts the second out there, and Kalika's now an out away. Get out of the jam.
First pitch on its way, and that's off of Vigliotti, who it appeared was hit by the bat. And I believe the call was catcher's interference. So the runner takes first base, and Vigliotti is clearly shaken up.
And that's not good, Joe, because he is one of the better hitters on this CSI lineup. If he were to come out of the game, that would be a really bad injury for the Dolphins. Hopefully he's able to stay in.
We'll get a look at it on replay and see if he was indeed hit by the bat, but judging by his reaction, it certainly looks like that was the case. Really tough to tell. AJ's going to stay in the game. We'll wind it back once more.
And you can see he's kind of hunched over, kind of wincing at that hand. So we'll have to see how that plays a factor in the rest of this game. If you're the Dolphins, you're hoping he could stay in the game because you really do not want to lose that bat.
It looked like the bat of Sean McAdams may have knocked the mitt off of his hand. You would think there'd be some level of protection with the glove over that left hand, but didn't appear to do him much good there. As it looks like he may trade helmets here. At the very least, that will buy him some extra time. Coming to the plate is Stephen Schoen. 2 outs, runners on first and second for the Mavericks. Kalika looks towards second and delivers a breaking ball for a strike.
Nice early breaking ball from Kalika there. You saw on Friday, Schoen had some nice hits against the CSI pitching staff, so the Dolphins know he is a dangerous hitter despite only hitting .202 on the year. He does have 2 home runs, which is tied for the team lead. But Kalika quickly has him down 0-2.
Well, the number that may stand out to the Dolphins right now, Schoen has struck out 31 times. That leads the Mavericks. Kalika could really use a punch-out right here. And that won't do it, as he nearly hit Schoen in the head with the pitch, and that will allow both runners to advance.
He almost hit the bat, too. Thankfully for the Dolphins, he did not hit the batter there. Now they count 1-2, both runners advancing. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Mercy. Kalika could really use a strikeout here to avoid any runners from coming in.
Kalika still in the driver's seat here, ahead 1-2. And that's hit well to deep right field, heading back toward the wall, and that ball is out of here. Stephen Schoen, with his team-leading third home run of the season, has put the Mavericks ahead 3-0 in the first inning.
Schoen got a big-time pitch there, able to hit it into right field. That might be the first time, Joe, I've seen a ball hit over that right field wall for a home run. And now you said it, his team-leading third home run of the season, and gives Mercy an early 3-0 lead here at the top of the first inning.
We'll get a second look at that home run swing by Schoen. And you catch the tail end of it right here, but you'll see that ball travel over the right field wall, and he knew it off the bat. As the first pitch is in for a called strike to Joseph Gonzalez. Now our scoreboard reads bottom of the first here on the broadcast. On our engineering control panel, it reads top of the first, so we'll try and get that corrected for you. Doesn't want to move at the moment, but it is the top of the first inning, and I caught that when it said home run Staten Island. We know that's not correct. That's a nice stop at second by Ulaj. He throws to first in time, and the side is retired, but not before a 3-run homer by Stephen Schoen gives the Mavericks the lead. Mercy over Staten Island, 3-0.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Bottom of the first inning from the CSI Baseball Complex, where the Dolphins trail 3-0 early. Stephen Schoen with a 3-run homer for the Mavericks puts Mercy ahead 3-0. First pitch that Michael Kehoe sees, misses for ball 1.
Dolphins need an early spark from the offense now, trailing 3-0. Kehoe, with that .357 batting average, will look to do something right here.
Kehoe quickly ahead 2-0. Kehoe with an on-base percentage well above 400. You mentioned the batting average. And he looks at a strike. He's also played a very good defensive center field. We said it already, the Dolphins, with the defensive alignment, we haven't seen much this year. They have Martin at first, Ulaj at second. We haven't seen that right side of the infield much. Don't believe we've seen it at all here at home.
Now, something to keep an eye out, Joe. The Mavericks do have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen, so I'd be curious to see how long Soto goes in this game. Looks like it's going to be an opener for Mercy today. We saw about Soto pitch 2 2/3 his last appearance, so maybe at the most he goes 3 innings into this game.
That's chopped back toward the mound, hit slowly, fielded behind the plate by Schoen, throw not in time.
A swinging bunt from Michael Kehoe there, but they'll take it for a leadoff single.
Check that. That was Glenister behind the plate. Schoen received the throw over at first base, but nonetheless, Dolphins have a leadoff base runner on an infield single. That will bring Shendi Ulaj to the plate.
Shendi hitting .338 on the year. They check Keogh at first base.
Now, to your point of the Mavericks perhaps using an opener in this game, we mentioned that Soto comes into this game without a start. And having good starting pitching depth is very important in these 4-game conference series, as Ulaj looks to strike. But the Dolphins have 4 capable starting pitchers, and that really benefits them in this 4-game series format. We've said it all year, but when the Dolphins have had to go to the bullpen with the lead for more than 6 outs, that's been a problem. So that pitch is fouled away.
Getting into the playoffs could be a multitude of things. Having a good rotation or having a good bullpen really could, decide on who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. So for CSI, they're hoping to get back in this game, maybe get to the Mavericks bullpen, and maybe get back, get a huge win. They need to do something here in the bottom of the first inning, though.
Dolphins are firmly in control of their playoff fate as Kehoe got caught too far off of first. And he gets back.
That is a big-time break for CSI right there.
We didn't catch it on our pitcher-batter camera, but I actually didn't see it because the window pane is obstructing first base. You and I will have to slide over a bit and make sure we're both squarely in the middle of the windows, but you're looking through a window pane. If you turn your head left toward left field, I have right field obstructed. I have to contort my body to the right to view that home run.
And on that throw, it looked like the throw was there in time and the tag was there in time. But Keogh, to his credit, just got back to the bag in time. That's huge because that would have been a really unnecessary first out for the Dolphins. Still have a runner at first, so we'll see if Shendi can do something here down the count 1-2.
Pitch on its way, and that's fouled off. And we've seen the Dolphins with some base running miscues throughout the season. We saw that last year as well. We've said it time and time again. This team can hit just about anybody in the conference. The issue has come late in games, recording the final 9 outs, and at times on the base paths. We're not used to seeing the Dolphins lose games like they did on Friday, scoring just twice, or yesterday, as they did in Game 1, scoring just once.
We talk about base running. We saw in that series against Alliance, the Dolphins had a lot of good stolen bases in that game. So they're trying to change that method.
And with the runner going, the right side is vacated, and Ulaj lines a base hit into right field. Going first to third is Kehoe, and the Dolphins have runners on the corners with nobody out.
Oh, that's another thing we also saw against Alliance. A lot of hit and runs for the Dolphins. It shows right there. That's a perfect executed hit and run for CSI. And now Thomas Martin comes up to the plate. The tying run. Huge chance for CSI to trim this deficit.
Martin, only recently inserted back into the lineup on a regular basis, has gotten more and more playing time over the last couple of weeks. He's rewarded Mike Morrow. Had the 3-run homer I mentioned against Alliance. Comes to bat in a big RBI spot here as he looks to strike.
And they would love more than anything to have another 3-run homer from Martin here to tie this game at 3.
Martin had a pair of 2-hit games yesterday as well. Two teams already with 2 hits each in this game. Here comes the 0-1. Ulaj is going, and the Mavericks will not throw.
That's a smart heads-up play for CSI. Now no double play ball for the Mavericks. And now a chance for Martin to bring home 2 runners here with a single.
I am shocked the Mavericks did not throw there. Unless they thought they had no chance.
Shendi did get a good jump.
And we've seen him sneak some stolen bases. You have to watch him. And Martin looks at a called strike 3. Big strikeout for Soto. And now I think it looms even larger that the Dolphins kept themselves out of a potential double play. Because in this spot, a ground ball could have ended the inning. A.J. Vigliotti at the plate. He comes in CSI's leading hitter. And even .400 on the season.
Leads the team in home runs and RBIs. We'll see how he does with that hand injury at the last inning.
And that is lined through the right side for a base hit. Kehoe is in to score. Ulaj is held up at third, and it's an RBI single for A.J. Vigliotti. The Dolphins have cut the lead to 2.
Is now team leading 24th RBI of the season. That's a huge hit for the Dolphins there to now make it a 3-1 game. Weigel now comes up to the plate, the go-ahead run. Great chance for CSI here with first and third, and only one away.
Weigel had the biggest hit of the day for the Dolphins yesterday. A go-ahead 2 RBI single in the 9th inning. That gave the Dolphins a 2-0 lead. They went on to win 4-0. And Weigel takes down and away for ball 1.
And if you're Mercy, you're looking for a nice double play ball to end this inning and keep minimal damage. Weigel will try to avoid that here with a 1-0 count.
Comes the 1-0 pitch. There goes Vigliotti, and that's chopped foul.
CSI looking for another hit and run there. Did not go their way on that one. Now count goes to 1-1.
We did not see this level of aggressiveness on the base paths from the Dolphins on Friday. That's one way to jumpstart the offense a bit. They'd struggled to hit with runners in scoring position, but you get more chances with runners in scoring position. You're bound to get more hits. As Weigel looks at a strike. Crowd didn't like that one.
With a little bit on the outside corner. Now the count is 1-2, so Weigel needs to protect the plate here. Soto looking for another big strikeout.
1-2 on its way, and that's a half swing. It's chopped to first. Throw to second for 1, but there's nobody covering over at first base. And the run comes in to score.
And that could be something to look at as this game goes on. If the Dolphins were to win and come back, no one at first base to cover. Weigel reaches first, brings home another run, and now it's 3-2.
I don't think they had to play it first regardless. We'll see. Perhaps my opinion will change on the replay. You get a look at the play at second first, and there you see nobody covering. I think there certainly would have been a throw. As John Castiglione looks at a strike. Dolphins give up 3 in the top half of the first. They are 2/3 of the way back. An extra base hit here could tie the game. And Castiglione takes high. One and one the count. And that's hit well to left field. But that is right at Sanders on a line. And the side is retired. The Dolphins strand 1, but they score twice in the home first inning. Our score, Mercy 3, Staten Island 2.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex. After the Mavericks took a 3-0 lead in the top half of the first inning, the Dolphins get 2 back. Our score 3-2. Stephen Kalika back to the mound for CSI. His first pitch of the second inning is swung on and missed for strike 1. At the plate for the Mavericks is Gabe Sanders. He recorded the last putout of the first inning in left field, and he chops that one over to third. Weigel handles, throw to first in time for the first out.
We got to believe after giving up the 3-run homer in the top of that inning and then the Dolphins getting 2 in the bottom of the inning, Kalika's got to have a little bit of confidence getting back into him now that the CSI is only down 1 run in this game. It's going to be up to him to keep it a 1-run game. Nice start to the inning with that ground out.
That pitch is fouled away. At the plate is John Nisko. Nisko, the designated hitter for the Mavericks today. And he's quickly in a 2-strike call with that foul ball. Here comes the 0-2. And that misses outside.
I'm looking over at the Mavericks bullpen, Joe. There is a lot of action going on, a lot of stretching. One pitcher is warming up. Be curious to see if they make a pitching change going into the bottom of this next inning.
The CSI relievers spend the game in the dugout as that's lined into shallow right center for a base hit. And Nisko is on with a 1-out single. But the Dolphins have their relievers assembled in the dugout. The Mavericks have all of their relievers in the bullpen together. And you said it, Nick. There are at least 4 or 5 Mavericks stretching out there right now. Zach Ashline will be the batter. Kalika's first pitch on its way. And that's in for a called strike 1. Here's a look at that last base hit by Nisko. Good 2-strike hitting by him. Setting that ball right back where it was pitched on the outer half. And that's off the glove of Vigliotti into the backstop. Advancing Nisko to second.
And that now eliminates the double play ball for the Dolphins. So now Kalika will have to try to keep that runner from scoring. Now
Wild pitch on that one as well, Nick?
I would say wild pitch on that one.
I agree. Vigliotti had a chance, but couldn't pull it in. The 1-1 is hit in the air. Just beyond the infield. And Ulaj has it in shallow center for the second out.
Cheney's been very active early in this game defensively. Of course, the second out there. Now the Dolphins are an out away from keeping that runner from scoring from second base.
That will bring Jaden Caballero to the plate. Caballero already with a base hit in this game. He is now 6 for 6 at the CSI Baseball Complex this year.
Trying to make it 7 for 7 and bring home that runner.
And he takes a strike. We spoke about it a lot on Friday. Hitting with runners in scoring position, a big factor in deciding that game between the Dolphins and Mavericks here on Friday in the series opener. As that pitch misses up and away, but another chance here for the Mavericks. 2 outs, a man on second. And right now, arguably their hottest hitter at the plate.
Kalika looking for a big out number 3.
That misses low for ball 2.
And if he were to walk him, it would be Nolan Giblin on deck, another hot hitter right now for the Mavericks. So
Caballero chased way out of the strike zone there.
And now with a 2-2 count, he could try to make him chase again here to get a punch out to end the inning. So we'll see what he does here with this 2-2 pitch.
First base is open, but you don't want to face Giblin. And Kalika will look Nisko back to second. Quick move there by Kalika.
Keeping the runner on his toes.
And the 2-2 is grounded through the right side for a base hit. Nisko is being waved home, and he will score the fourth Mavericks run. And Mercy extends their lead back to a pair. It's now 4-2.
That's a big RBI single for Mercy now. 4-2 the score here. They get one of those runs back from the previous half inning. And Caballero now 7 for 7 here at the CSI Baseball Complex. He has just been hitting a red-hot bat for Mercy.
Well, I said it, Nick. On Friday, hitting with runners in scoring position, a huge factor. And early in this game, the Mavericks come through with a big hit with a runner in scoring position right there as Caballero steals second base.
That's now his team-leading 11th stolen base of the season. And now gives Giblin an RBI opportunity here with the single.
With first base open, you could pitch Giblin a bit more carefully here. Glenister on deck as Giblin swings and misses. Both Giblin and Glenister 0 for 1 in the game. And the 1-1 is swung on and missed. And Kalika is now one strike away from getting out of this.
He could really use a strike three here. Mavericks trying to get a 2-out rally. They already got one run in. Looking for a second one here.
Kalika looks towards second. Here's the 1-2. And that is swung on and missed for strike 3. Kalika strikes out Giblin to bring an end to the top half of the second, but not before the Mavericks score once again. It was a 2-out RBI single by Jaden Caballero that gives Mercy a 4-2 lead.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Nick Cipoletti will lead off the home second for the College of Staten Island. Cipoletti comes in hitting .286 and is the only Dolphin to appear in all 30 games this year.
Been very reliable this year, defensively and offensively for the Dolphins. They can use him to get it on base here. Dolphins now once again trailing by 2.
And that pitch is grounded through the middle and into center field for a base hit. And the Dolphins have a leadoff base runner for the second consecutive inning.
And now Tyler Martinez coming up. Tying run again for the Dolphins. Cipoletti does have good legs at first. Would be curious to see if maybe CSI sends him at some point during this at-bat.
Cipoletti really does it all for the Dolphins. Is out there each and every game. Plays good defense over at short. Hits for some power. Has good speed. And still has that batting average hovering up around the 300 mark. He's been very consistent in his time here at CSI. Tyler Martinez takes down and away for ball one. Martinez now 12 of 66 on the season coming in. He started most of the games for CSI. 23 out of 30, has appeared in 26 out of 30. And with the loss of Dominic Castiglione, Martinez has been in there just about every game.
Dolphins really needing that defense. And you said Martinez has been in there. Could really use his bat now with the Dolphins trailing by 2 and Cipolleti at first.
1-0 pitch on its way. There goes Cipolleti. Throw to second, in with plenty of time.
Looked like Cipolleti maybe got a little bit of a late jump on that pitch. And Glenister threw him out with ease at second base. And a costly first out for the Dolphins there. First time all year that Cipolleti's been caught stealing. He was 4 for 4 before that attempt.
Here's another look at it. As the count runs to 2-1. And on the wide angle, you can still see by how wide of a margin that throw beats Cipolleti. Count even on Martinez now at 2-2 with that last foul ball. That's a swing and a miss, but it gets away and rolls into the Dolphins on deck circle. So Martinez is a strikeout victim, but he will reach on the drop third strike.
And now Anthony Iraci coming out for the Dolphins. But unfortunately for CSI, if that caught stealing doesn't happen, they'd had first and second, nobody out. So the Dolphins will look to get back and get some runs here. Iraci looks to get on base and give the CSI top of the order a chance.
Iraci gets the start in left field today. Dolphins gifted a base runner with that drop third strike as Iraci looks at a pitch for strike one. Iraci comes in 7 of 31 on the season. And he hits one well over the outstretched glove of the shortstop Gonzalez and into left field for a base hit.
We saw Iraci against Alliance, had some good time swings against the Warriors. Gets a nice single into left field, and that could prompt a pitching change, Joe, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Early call to the bullpen for the Mavericks, who lead it by 2 runs. They get 4 outs from Gabriel Soto. Could have easily been 5 were it not for that drop third strike. But he exits the game with a 2-run lead. And when we come back, Michael Kehoe will come to the plate with 2 on and 1 out.
NCAA Division II Community Engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Dolphins with 2 on here in the bottom half of the second inning. It's back to the top of the order for CSI with Michael Kehoe coming to the plate. And he will face a new Mavericks pitcher as John Gillespie comes into the game out of the Mercy bullpen.
Gillespie 0-2 on the year with an ERA above 15. He's only pitched 7 innings on the season. And he comes into a big spot here, first and second for CSI, only 1 away. And Michael Kehoe, the go-ahead runner at the plate.
Notable that he is a left-hander. We don't see too many lefties in the ECC anyway. I can't recall many. Kalika, of course, a lefty for the Dolphins. Do they have a second lefty? I believe Kevin Ryan as well, as that's lined into right center field for a base hit. And Martinez is being waved home. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Dolphins are back to within 1.
That's why Kehoe leads off for CSI. He's a reliable bat for that Dolphin lineup. A big-time RBI single. It's now a 1-run game. And Shendi Ulaj with something into the gap here, Joe. He gives CSI the lead for the first time today.
Kehoe got ahead in the count, 1-0. And with 2 on base, Gillespie didn't have much of a choice but to attack the zone. And Kehoe drives that pitch into shallow right center.
The Mavericks. Go ahead. You can finish your thought. I was going to say the Mavericks, once again, have 2 pitchers up in their bullpen. So Gillespie could be on a short leash here. And we'll have to see if he can get out of this jam. Still only 1 away. A double play ball, though, would end the inning.
I was about to say for a moment, I was a bit surprised the Dolphins sent the runner home. As that pitch misses outside, but play at the plate wasn't close. I think that ball was hit just softly enough where the Dolphins felt safe, sending Martinez in from third. Ulaj now ahead 2-0 here. Nowhere to put him. And that's in for a strike.
If you're CSI, you would like to take the lead here because, unfortunately, with that caught stealing, CSI could have tied the game with that single. Now still trailing by 1. If Ulaj can get a hit here, they can forget all about that.
Comes the 2-1. And that misses low. Now, third base is still open, but if you do walk Ulaj here, that allows the Dolphins to tie the game on a fly ball. And, of course, you'd hope to avoid that.
And especially against the heart of the CSI lineup with Thomas Martin on deck.
And that ball is hit hard through the left side for a base hit. Iracy is being waved home. He will score the tying run. And the Dolphins have gotten back even. Our score is knotted up at 4.
Well, Joe, if you're a fan of offense for baseball, this is the game you've wanted to watch. A 4-4 game here in the bottom of the second inning. Big-time hit for Shendi Ulaj. And now Thomas Martin has a chance to give CSI their first lead of the day with another single.
We've spoken about the importance of hitting with runners in scoring position. These 2 teams have done that today. And now Thomas Martin has a chance to give CSI the lead.
And this could be the final batter for Gillespie here.
That's chopped on the ground through the middle for another Dolphins hit. Kehoe is being waved home.
The
ball gets away in center. 2 runs will score. Martin heads for third, and he is in standing as the Dolphins go in front, 6-4.
Big time hit for the classic man himself, Thomas Martin. Brings home 2 runs there, and it reaches on third on that error. And the Dolphins, for the first time today, have the lead. It's now 6-4. Huge momentum going for CSI right now.
Caballero charging in on that ball, hoping for a play at, I would presume, third base. Charged in too hard, and the ball went right past him under his glove. That allowed 2 runs to come in. The first run was in regardless. The second run definitely would not have scored.
And now, because of that error, it's going to force the Mavericks to play in defensively to try to prevent another run from coming in this inning.
The big question right now is, do the Mavericks have enough pitching to get them 27 outs in this game?
That's the problem I have sometimes with openers, because you have to figure out who can give you a length out of your bullpen. So far, the Mavericks have not been able to do that. They're going to have to figure out something in here.
That pitch got in on the hands of Vigliotti. It's caught in right field. Potential play at the plate. And Martin is out. What a throw from right field to cut down Martin by Ashline. And that's a huge play for the third out of the inning. We will get a second look at it, but the Dolphins will settle for 4 runs in the inning. CSI now has 8 hits, and they lead Mercy 6-4.
Stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Top of the third inning from the CSI baseball complex. Already 10 runs home in this game. Dolphins leading the Mavericks 6-4. And were it not for a great throw in right field by Zach Ashline, Dolphins certainly could be leading by more.
Ashline certainly saving the Mavericks there with a big-time throw at the plate to get Martin on that sacrifice fly attempt. Dolphins do score 4 in that bottom of the second nonetheless, and now have the lead for the first time today, 6-4.
Very quickly, Kalika has fallen behind on Justin Glenister. 3 balls and 1 strike. Not the way he wanted to start the third inning. And that ball's hit well to left field down into the corner, and that will roll all the way to the fence. Iracy tracks it down. And Glenister will jog into second base standing with a leadoff double.
Well, because of him falling behind 3-1 in the count, Kalika was trying to get a strike there to work the count to full at 3-2. But Glenister just rocketed that one into left field for that leadoff double.
Here's another look at that swing by Glenister. He hit that ball hard. And there was no question that was an extra base hit. As soon as it left his bat. That pitch is line foul. So I've been working with Production Truck now extensively for the last 2 seasons. I became familiar with the system probably about 4 years ago now in 2019. And I just learned how to pull replays from our secondary cameras, even if they're not in the live output. It was so simple, and I just looked at it and realized immediately what we had to do. It's very simple. You have your live output here. If you just check the boxes next to camera 1 and camera 2, it will pull that as well. The reason we didn't do it in the past, I would presume, is because it takes up a lot of memory.
Right.
Those replays all get saved, and from time to time, you have to delete those off the computer. But
yep.
Still a great feature, and now we will have replay from all 3 cameras available, which is great.
Fans will get a live look at what happens in this game. And what a snag by Weigel at third.
Great play by the Dolphins' third baseman. And that may have saved a run. If that ball deflects off of his glove and in the wrong direction, a run scores. Instead, there's one out, and Glenister is forced to hold at second.
That took such a tough bounce for Weigel, but he was able to snag it, get a good strong throw to first base, and get a nice out number one for the Dolphins. But after Stephen Schoen's home run, his last at bat, Kalika needs to try to get him out here.
That home run for Schoen was left on left as he looks at a strike. Here's another look at that play by Weigel. There you see Weigel forced to throw his glove up in the air and make a really tough pick on that ball. It took a bad hop. And that ball is hit well to deep right field. It is just foul.
Schoen, another rocket into right field. And you said it, Joe, just went foul. Martinez is going to have to stay on his toes for this one because after what we saw the first at bat from Schoen and just on that previous pitch right there, Schoen is ready to hit one into right field for another long extra base hit.
Comes the pitch from Kalika, and that misses outside.
I feel like that's what Kalika's going to have to do in this at bat now. He's got to pitch a little bit more on the outside corner and not going inside because Schoen has shown so far that he likes those inside pitches.
And Schoen just got under that one. He hits it to deep right. Catch is made by Martinez. And advancing to third is Glenister.
And you said it just a little bit under on that one. If he's able to hit that one perfectly, he's got another good chance of hitting another home run right there. CSI gets a loud out number two, and it's an out away once again, getting out of the inning without giving up a run, potentially.
Well, Nick, if I was Kalika, I would pitch Schoen very carefully the rest of this game.
Now, that's why I said I think he has to pitch a little bit more to the outside corner.
There's a chopper to the left side, another chance for Weigel. And his throw is in time to retire Gonzalez for the final out of the inning. Leadoff double stranded for the Mavericks here in the road third. They trail by a pair. The Dolphins come to bat after this break, leading 6-4.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and with like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, "We have a prodigy." So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Home half of the third inning about to get underway from the CSI Baseball Complex. We had our first scoreless half inning of the game in the top of the third, but that wasn't for the lack of a run-scoring threat. Mavericks certainly had a chance to get on the board. Good job by Stephen Kalika to make sure they did not. And once again, I believe we have a new pitcher.
We do.
For the Mavericks, Riley Williams.
It would be Riley Williams.
39 replacing 34 for the visitors as that pitch is fouled back by Weigel. He's quickly in a 2-strike hole.
Well, you talked about how CSI got their first scoreless inning of the day. Vincent Weigel was a big reason why that happened. He had 2 good plays at third base to record 2 outs in that inning. So his defense definitely came to play in that previous half inning. So he protect the play here down 0-2.
He took the words right out of my mouth. As soon as I saw him at the plate, that's where my mind went as well. And he takes down for ball 1.
Well, great minds think alike, Joe.
No question. Yeah, we can't pick a winner.
Yeah.
Comes the 1-2. That misses down and away. And we're talking about winning lottery numbers.
Yeah, of course. We were able to at least watch the Knicks win last night.
Yes. I will be there on Friday of next week. You will be there on Sunday.
I will.
Weigel hits one out to right field. He hits it well. That's toward the line and down. Fair ball. Weigel took a big turn, and he stops about a third of the way to second. And he's on with a leadoff single.
Very wise for him not to go to second after Ashline threw out Martin in the previous inning on that fly ball to right field. But Weigel gets a nice single into right, took advantage of the shift there, and gets on first base to lead off the inning.
Weigel hit that one off the end of the bat. You could tell he felt he didn't get all of it. Looked at it for a moment, and it wasn't certain that ball was going to land fair either, but it dropped well inside that right field line. And Weigel's on with the leadoff hit. John Castiglione at the plate. He looks at a strike.
Dolphins looking to score for the third straight inning here and increase their lead from 2. Castiglione down the count 0-1. Looking to bring home Weigel with an extra base hit.
They'll check on Weigel at first. That throw got away and into the Mavericks bullpen. And Weigel thought about third. Now, there were about, I'd say, 10 or 12 bodies there.
I'm laughing, Joe, because the way that they got away from the ball was pretty comical on that one. But Weigel took advantage of it now, gets to second base. It gives now Castiglione an RBI opportunity here with the single.
That ball was bouncing around in the bullpen for about 5 seconds. And you said it, Nick. All the Mavericks out there slowly had to disperse. For the first time today, we'll get to take advantage of our secondary camera replay, and we'll get a look at that on the wide shot. As you see that throw get away, the only disadvantage to this replay is that it does not have our scoreboard. So we'll have to keep that in mind during basketball season. 0-1 the count, and Castiglione takes low.
You see how the Mavericks are playing defensively. The first baseman is all the way in, expecting a bunt potentially from Castiglione here to try to move Weigel to third.
I'd be mildly surprised the way the Dolphins have hit today. Comes the 1-1. That misses high. We posed the question last inning, do the Mavericks have the pitching to get 27 outs? And for the Dolphins, if Stephen Kalika cannot get you 27 outs, who do you turn to for the final 6 to 9 outs of the game?
That's going to be interesting to see what CSI does. You're hoping for Kalika. You can get 5, maybe 6 innings out of him. It really depends on what his pitch count is going to be in those innings.
That ball's hit out to shallow left, and the catch is made by Sanders. Now, I think in an ideal situation, if you're the Dolphins, you have a sizable lead, but you can't bank on that. As Nick Cipoletti comes to the plate. We've seen it in more than one conference game in both directions. No lead is ever safe.
That is the fun of watching the ECC here. A lot of fun and exciting games. So it looks like we're in for another one here.
I think a big part of it is that, we've said it before, typically in non-conference games, a lot of players who haven't been in the lineup regularly get a chance to play. And sometimes that will result in some very high-scoring games, sometimes, and perhaps a bit more often, some lopsided games in one direction. We saw that against the Stroudsburg. That went against the Dolphins, against the Lions. A lopsided score favored the Dolphins. So you get that a lot more in the non-conference games. Nick Cipoletti ahead 2-0 here with Tyler Martinez on deck. First base is open.
Cipoletti had a nice hit his last time up. Looking to get another one here.
2-0 on its way. There's a big swing and a miss.
You can tell he wants another hit right there to bring home Weigel from second. CSI trying to get another run here and make it a 3-run game.
You can tell he wanted a home run with that swing.
Yeah.
No question. Home run would be his second of the season. Here's the 2-1. And I think everybody in the booth here and in the room next door,
a sudden gasp.
They held their breath for a moment next door. I could hear it.
As someone famously said, "Oh no."
That's right.
We don't want another rib injury for you.
No. I'll turn to my right this time.
I'll try to block it out for you.
We'll take it off the other ribs. As that misses down and away for ball 3.
As long as the MAC is okay, that's all that matters.
The window is closed today. We'll
Yeah.
be fine. Now, I can't say the same for our camera.
That's true.
Which is right now positioned behind an open window. We don't have a choice there. The windows here aren't that clear. For some reason, there's tape on the windows. There was never tape on the windows in the past.
I was wondering the same thing, why there is tape.
It's a great question. We need to come up here and clean the windows. It's chopped on the infield to short. Throw goes to first, and it gets away. And that will bring home the 7th Dolphins run. Cipoletti reaches on the error, and as that throw rolls away, the Dolphins take a 7-4 lead.
It was very close, Joe, because I thought Cipoletti reached no matter what, even if the throw got there in time and it wasn't an error. Nonetheless, brings home the 7th CSI run of the day. They now have a 3-run lead here at the bottom of the 3rd inning.
We're going to slow it down. If the ball is put in play, we will cut away from the replay.
It's Tyler Martinez up for the Dolphins here.
The Mavericks have 3 errors on the board right now, and we'll have to run that replay back. Even better, we'll wind it back just a bit right here so you can see it. See if Cipoletti would have beaten it. I think you're right, Nick. That's a hit. We'll let the room next door know. That's a hit. That gives the Dolphins 10. Chopper to second. And the Mavericks can't turn the double play. They settle for 1 out.
Now, I think that would technically, though, wouldn't that be a hit and an error on that play because the runner wouldn't have scored?
Yes.
So they're still right with the error, but they just have to add a hit.
They have to add a hit. Correct. Anthony Iracy, the batter. Runner going. And once again, the Dolphins line a pitch through the vacated right side. Martinez goes first to third, and Iracy is on with a 2-out base hit.
Iracy did that in the game against the Lions. Same exact scenario, and gets another hit right there. And now CSI with another opportunity here to bring up another run. Michael Kehoe coming up first and third, 2 outs. Looking to drive something maybe in the gap to potentially bring home both of those runners.
If there's one hitter that you'd want at the plate with 2 outs and an RBI spot, it might be Kehoe. And he looks at a strike. If not Kehoe, it's Vigliotti. But with Kehoe, you have that speed threat where a slowly hit ball in the infield could help you steal a run. Kehoe behind 0-1 here. And he lines that one foul. Kehoe behind 0-2. Dolphins looking to keep this inning going. And that misses up and in. Williams looks toward first. Here's the 1-2. And once again, Kehoe fights that one off foul. Sal has his eyes fixed on the parking lot.
You parked in the first row, Sal? He doesn't remember.
Can't remember where he parked.
That's not a good sign.
We don't advocate drinking and driving here on CSI Sportsnet. And Kehoe looks at a called strike 3. Kehoe didn't like it, but that will end the inning. The Dolphins score once. They have scored in each of the first 3 innings, and they lead the Mavericks 7-4, heading to the 4th.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Back here at the CSI Baseball Complex here for top of the 4th inning. Dolphins now leading it 7-4. Steven Kalika trying to get the Dolphins another inning of work. CSI does have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. It looks like it's Alex Martinez up in their bullpen. This count now is 1-1.
And Nick, that is indeed Martinez throwing down in the left field bullpen as that's popped up. Foul ground. And out of play off the top of the Mavericks dugout. Nice turnout here today on a Sunday afternoon.
Not like the weather we had on Friday where it was very hot. Kind of a 70-degree weather. Not bad weather today here on a Sunday afternoon.
This is my kind of weather today. 60 degrees as that skips to the backstop. The other day I showed up in long sleeves and jeans. It was hot up here in the booth.
The AC was on in the other room, and it definitely played a factor for us as the day went on.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And Kalika has the first out here in the 4th.
A start to the 4th inning for Kalika after not giving up a run in the previous inning. We'll have to see how long he goes in this game with Martinez up in the Dolphin bullpen. You would like to get him through at least 5. Get him a chance at a win.
Gabe Sanders, a strikeout victim to open up the inning as John Nisko sends one to right field. And Martinez makes the catch for out number 2.
Nice start to the inning for Kalika there. 2 quick outs.
So at the plate is the Mavericks right fielder. His name is spelled Zach Ashline. We guessed that it was probably Ashleen, as that's grounded through the left side for a base hit. I think on Friday we agreed on Ashleen.
We did.
He's not a part of the pronunciation guide. Now, with him not on the pronunciation guide, you have to assume it's Ashline.
It's tough because we were just, trying to decide on Friday what it could be. We ended up going Ashleen, but it could be Ashline, and we're not 100% sure.
If he's not on the pronunciation guide, I'm inclined to say Ashline, but we looked it up online, and names spelled the same typically pronounced Ashleen. So we weren't sure. We hope to get it right, as Jaden Caballero will be the batter.
Lewis apparently did not hear me say Alex Martinez was in their bullpen, Joe.
Not listening again. Apparently he wasn't watching either on that Cipoletti chopper.
To his credit, that was a very close play when you look at it in real time, but yeah.
During the break, I jokingly said we'll have to reevaluate his title on our Sportsnet landing page. Instead of lead statistician, he could just be statistician.
He did, however, let's tell me that Nathan Rodriguez is up in the Mercy bullpen, so we'll have to see. Maybe he comes in to pitch in the bottom of the 4th inning. He's not warming up right now, but he was warming up a second ago.
That ball's hit out to center field. And Kehoe almost didn't backpedal far enough. He stumbles into that catch, and the side is retired. Mavericks strand 1 on base. They trail by 3. Our score, Staten Island 7, Mercy 4.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex, where the Dolphins lead the Mavericks 7-4. 2, 3, and 4 for the Dolphins due up in the home 4th. Shendi Ulaj will get things started against another new Mavericks pitcher. Their 4th of the game. And Nathan Rodriguez will get a turn against this Dolphins lineup.
Rodriguez on the year does have 6 games started. It'll be his 9th, or I should say 5 games started. It'll be a 9th appearance. So he could be the guy, Joe, that gives them those innings out of the bullpen. Comes into this game trailing 7-4. He'll need to keep it that way if Mercy's going to have a chance to win.
Well, the amount of activity in that Mercy bullpen versus what we saw earlier in the game, not even close now. Everyone has taken a seat, And it looks like Rodriguez may be the guy, as you said, Nick, to try and get them through these middle innings and pick up some outs.
Rodriguez on the year has a 6.65 ERA. He's 1-2. As I said, his ninth appearance of the year. He has started 5 games. As Shendy,
swing base hit. Shendy will take it.
Yeah, he'll take it. Dolphins have had some weird hits in this game, but you said it, Joe. They're going to take it now. Their 12th hit of this game. As Shendy gets on with a leadoff single. But as I said, Rodriguez now his 9th appearance of the year. It does have 5 starts at 21 2/3 of an inning pitched. It's allowed 28 hits, 22 runs, 16 of those are earned. Opponents are batting .322 against him on the season. Obviously now goes up after that leadoff single. Dolphins would like to keep it going as number 33, Thomas Martin, is facing number 3, Nathan Rodriguez.
A lot of threes out there.
3 yards is our favorite number.
That is correct. That's popped up. Shallow right. Could be trouble. And
Wow.
That's a great sliding catch by McAdams.
Lost the hat and everything, too. And McAdams makes a nice sliding grab to record the first out.
We'll get a look at it again. You'll get to see his full pursuit of that ball here on the wide shot. We need the telestrator. He caught that one out of the view of our main camera. That catch was made in fair territory. A.J. Vigliotti, the batter, and he looks at ball 1. Vigliotti 1 for 2 at the plate. Comes the 1-0, and we'll have to wait a bit longer. Third left-handed pitcher in this game between the two teams.
You were asking about how many lefties you usually see. Now, our second one out of the Maverick bullpen.
That was close over.
Very
first.
close.
I thought they may have had him.
That's the advantage of sometimes having a lefty when you try to make those pickoff moves at first base. Rodriguez almost getting Ulaj there. Just got back there in time.
Dolphins were running quite a bit early in this game. Cipoletti was then caught stealing, and they haven't been as aggressive since. And I don't think they will be with a lefty on the mound. Ulaj did steal a base earlier.
I think the threat of the amount of hit and run CSI has done so far in this game is why they're checking him at first base.
Looks like they have Vigliotti shifted to left field anyway, at least on the infield.
They are playing very deep.
Here comes the 2-0 pitch. After a second and third look to first base, and did Vigliotti hold up the swing? He did.
And now with a 3-0 count, Rodriguez looking to avoid a walk here. Shetty will most likely take it the whole way. He will not be given the green light. See what he does here.
I think he could have the green light on a good pitch, but that's not it. And he takes ball 4.
Now first and second for CSI. Vincent Weigel coming up. Had a nice single his last time up. See if the Mavericks defense shifts a little bit more to the right after he got a nice single into right field on that half-hearted swing his last time up.
Weigel 1 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. He comes to the plate here with 2 on base, just 1 out. Mavericks have to be hoping for a double play ball here. And it's a big swing by Weigel, who comes up empty for strike 1.
And it looks like once again the Mavericks are about to start warming up another pitcher in their bullpen.
Comes the 0-1. Weigel takes a ball. They have the binoculars next door, but from here, that looks like a number in the 40s. So that should narrow it down a bit. That narrows it down to 2 pitchers. as Weigel looks to strike. I think
Sir.
the question is 43 or 47 in the bullpen.
Let's see if Lewis sees it with the binoculars in the other room.
Where's the help when we need it? So that's foul
There,
back.
right on cue, 43.
He does listen.
What he wants to.
Gaetano Panisi in the bullpen for the Mavericks. Mercy hoping they don't need him. Rodriguez looking for a big third strike on Weigel. Here comes the 1-2. And that's it out to right center field. Falling fast. Caballero can't get there. That's down for a base hit. Throw coming to the plate. Play at the plate. And the throw is in time, I thought. There's a big round of applause. The Dolphins are exchanging high fives. There was no signal at the plate, but I believe the run is scored.
I'm as confused as you are, Joe.
There was no signal. Is the run in or not?
The umpire let him step on home base.
Yeah. So the umpire ruled there was never a tag?
Could there... I'm thinking about this. Could the catcher maybe interfere with him sliding? Like they do in baseball? That is a rule in MLB. Could that be have been the play at the plate? That's the only thing I could think of.
There was no signal of any kind that I saw. We have the replay, so we're going to check it out in a minute. As that's fouled away. We'll see if we can do it very quickly.
Throw, as you said, the throw was there in time, no question about it. And he had Ulaj 100%. The only thing I could think of on the play is that the catcher interfered with Ulaj sliding at home and not giving him an opportunity.
The ball got away, and Ulaj never touched the plate.
I didn't even see the ball go away.
Me either.
Well, never mind. Forget that theory.
The ball rolled away about halfway out to the mound. We didn't see it.
I didn't see it at all.
We did not see it.
That looks bad now on the camera. That looks pretty bad.
Our viewers had a great view of it. They were probably asking themselves, what's wrong with these guys? What are they looking at? The ball very clearly got away. We did not see it. We'll look at it one more time and see if Ulaj touched the plate initially. Dolphins now have 13 hits in this game.
A weird day at the College of Staten Island so far in this game. It's only the bottom of the fourth inning.
In other words, just another day.
Just another day, yep.
1-2 the count. That's popped up. Foul territory, out of play. Here's one more look at that play at the plate in regular speed. Ulaj did not touch the plate.
That's why.
That's why.
We just didn't see the ball.
Whoops.
Happens to the best of us.
Another 1-2 pitch coming. That's hit in the air once again out to fairly deep right field. Catch is made by Ashline, and that's a great throw. Missed the cutoff man, but he almost got that to third on a fly.
Almost took out his shortstop, too, on that throw.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 2, Nick Cipoletti.
That will leave it to Nick Cipoletti. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. Dolphin lead is now 4.
If you're Rodriguez and you're able to hold the Dolphins to 1 run, you'll take that as a slow, a short victory for this inning. If only 1 run were to come in, Cipoletti would look to change that with a single here.
Dolphins have scored in every inning. And they will wisely check on the runner over at first. That's Weigel. And you have to think there's a good chance the Dolphins try and draw a throw to second base here.
To prevent the out from being recorded at second or first. Let's see here.
Now, are you comfortable with potentially sending Vigliotti home if the ball is thrown to second base?
It's tough. I think with the 4-run lead, you can maybe take that chance, but it could play a huge factor as the game goes on. So I would be curious to see what happens.
Want to know the count? There's another big swing by Cipolleti. When he's offering at a pitch without any strikes on him, he takes home run cuts just about every time.
He wants home run number 2. That's why his number's 2.
Would you say he's due?
Could be. He's looking for a sip.
Hooray? That's popped up.
No hooray here.
Well, I think we jinxed him.
Almost an hooray as that one got dropped.
Schoen makes the catch. Didn't look too routine, but he holds on. And the side is retired. Dolphins strand 2 on base. They bring home another run and now lead it 8-4 as we move to the 5th.
For me, just kind of was the glue that kept my family together, I feel like. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet. We had a good laugh during the break about that play at the plate. Here's one more look in real speed. We wanted the telestrator so we could circle the baseball rolling away from the catcher Glenister. Thought that'd be really funny, as it was very clear that he did not bring that ball in. Ulaj looked over at the home plate umpire who said, basically, go touch home plate without saying it, just gave him a look. And by not making a call, Shendy knew he had to touch the plate. So
I was very certain there was catcher's interference. I did not see the ball at all.
That ball's popped up just beyond the infield, and Ulaj makes the catch as the Dolphins have a quick first out recorded here in the 5th. So Giblin goes down on one pitch, and that will bring up Justin Glenister.
Kalika with 2 straight scoreless innings, looking to do that for the 3rd straight inning. Martinez still up in the Dolphin bullpen.
That's popped up, but well foul. Glenister 1 for 2 at the plate. Doubled his last time up. That led off the 3rd inning. Kalika has settled in nicely. Allowed 4 runs in the first 2 innings. Has not allowed a run since. The Mavericks have 6 hits. The Dolphins, through 4 innings, have 13. That's hit to short. Handled by Cipolleti. His throw a bit low, but Martin hangs on to it for the 2nd out.
Dolphins defense these last couple innings have been very solid. That's the reason why they've had 2 straight scoreless innings and are now 1 out away from a 3rd straight scoreless inning. Kalika looks to give CSI maybe potentially 1 more inning if he gets a scoreless inning here.
Kalika working very quickly as that ball's hit well foul back beyond the Dolphins.
I thought I jinxed it for a hot second there, Joe. For a hot second.
You're not the only one. 0-1 the count on McAdams, and he hits another ball hard off the facing of the CSI dugout.
Good luck to John Esposito trying to find that first foul ball that he hit.
You pitch a 9-inning complete game shutout. The next day, you're chasing foul balls. Life of a pitcher.
That's the dream, no?
Minus the chasing foul balls part, I'd say so. It's not a great facility to chase foul balls in. At least if they're hit to the left. Even to the right, then you're in the parking lot. There's one for the lot.
Right on cue.
Right on cue.
Hopefully that's not going towards Sal's car. He told me to be quiet.
Commentator's jinx.
Commentator's jinx.
Be careful.
No, it's probably going to my car now that I said that.
It'll be like the Knicks logo, a basketball on Sal's windshield.
That's a good way. That's a good way to go about it.
We should get matching decals for the bumpers during the playoff run.
I hope we didn't jinx that now you said that.
If they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to be a very happy man. Let's put it that way. That's hit to short. I'll be happy for a different reason, Sal, as that's hit to short. Throw goes to first in time, and the side is retired. McAdams, the third out of the inning. And Kalika with a 1-2-3 fifth keeps the Dolphins ahead by 4. Staten Island 8, Mercy 4. We head to the home fifth.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Home half of the fifth inning from the CSI Baseball Complex. And we have another new pitcher for the Mavericks. Gaetano Panisi, the new pitcher for Mercy.
It's funny you say that, Joe. They warm up another pitcher at that bullpen. And it looks like another lefty.
First batter Panisi will face is Tyler Martinez.
Now, Joe, you would be better have better knowledge than I would about this. When is the next time Mercy has a game?
That's a good question.
Because with the amount of pitchers they've used in this game, you have to think they're not playing for a little bit.
Well, you have to look at the number of pitchers on their roster as well. They have a few more than the Dolphins. 2 or 3 more. Count 2 balls and 1 strike on Martinez, but I'll find out right now when Mercy's next game is. The Dolphins next play on Friday, so the Dolphins have plenty of time ahead of their next game. They head to Lincoln, Pennsylvania, take on the Lions.
Another question I pose to you is, does Kalika come out for the 6th inning, considering how the last 3 innings have gone for him?
No question. His pitch count isn't that high. The Mavericks next play on Friday on the road against Queens.
So they do have 5 days in between.
a lot of teams late in the season won't have anything but conference games. We see that with basketball sometimes, where the last month of the schedule will be exclusively conference games. Martinez draws the walk, and that puts a man on for Anthony Iracy.
Number 17, Anthony Iracy.
For the Dolphins, they only have conference games left. That is not the case for softball. We'll get to see both conference and non-conference play this week. Dolphins host Queens in conference play on Tuesday, and the Dolphins are nearing a point where just about every conference game is becoming a must-win. That pitch down and away as Iracy was showing bunt. Now for baseball, we'll pull up the ECC standings in a moment, but they're in a better position right now than softball is in terms of where they stand and how many games they have left. And the big reason baseball is in the better spot is because baseball has 4 games in hand on some teams in the ECC. One of them being the Mavericks. So the Dolphins right now are 3-8 in conference play. The Mavericks are 4-11. If the Dolphins win today, they are even with Mercy in the win column and 4 games up in the loss column. And that's going to be very tough for the Mavericks to recover from.
And you talked about it, you look at their next opponent, Lincoln. They're not far behind them in conference record as well. Lincoln right now 3-7 conference record-wise. So that's a big-time doubleheader coming up with them this coming week on Wednesday. Or I should say against Pennsylvania.
On Friday.
Yep.
Chance for a double play. And the Mavericks turn 2. So the Dolphins initially had Iracy looking to bunt. Instead, he swings the bat, and he grounds it to the 6-4-3 double play.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 8, Michael Kehoe.
2 big outs for the Mavericks right there. Looking to hold the Dolphins scoreless for the first time in this game.
Dolphins do have the top of the order now up with Kehoe 2 away. We'll get some 2-out magic here.
So for the Dolphins, they have 4 games against Lincoln, 4 games against Dewville, and 4 games against Stack. That's it on the ground to third. Nice stop over there. Get on top of that ball. And to throw out Kehoe. That was Giblin who made that play. And the side is retired. So we'll talk more about the East Coast Conference playoff standings when we come back from break. Our score heading to the 6th inning. Staten Island 8, Mercy 4.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Stephen Schoen will lead off for the Mavericks here in the 6th. And if there's one man who could jumpstart this offense, it's probably him.
Home run and first time up. Almost had a second one, his second time up. Just a little bit under it. Flew out to right field.
crushed one foul in that same at bat as well. Very quickly, shown ahead 3-0, and you could tell Kalika wasn't going to give him a pitch to hit.
Not going to give him an opportunity there with the way he's hit the first 2 times. So an early walk.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 12, Joseph
Now,
Gonzalez.
I doubt Kalika walked him intentionally, but sounds like they're trying to communicate with us with some Morse code from next door. But anyway, Kalika definitely didn't walk him intentionally, but with the bases empty, if there was ever a chance to attack and to figure it out, that was it. And Mike Morrow doesn't like the way that this inning has started with 4 straight balls, make it 5 now. So he will initiate a conference on the mound.
And with Alex Martinez once again up in the Dolphin bullpen, you got to wonder if another walk here for Kalika that might end his day here. Looking to find the strike zone. But as you said early, 5 straight balls to start the inning. Looking to avoid another walk here and give the Mavericks first and second with nobody out.
You brought it up before, whether or not we'd see Kalika in this inning. He's thrown just 77 pitches, so you would think that if he has a quick inning here, he could give you one more.
Right.
Specifically, with the bottom of the Mercy order coming up, if he was to get through this inning, he would have the bottom of the lineup due up in the next inning. So Kalika will look to bounce back from 5 straight balls. He gets a swing and miss here from Gonzalez, and the count is now even at 1.
Could use a double play ball here as well to get 2 quick outs.
Gonzalez looking to bunt. That's a bit surprising. He is 0 for 2 at the plate.
Well, considering that we're in the top of the 6th inning, it's tough because, yes, you want to try to get your runners in scoring position and get some runs, but to sacrifice an out, that's tough to do it right there.
That's line foul.
Almost hit the first base coach there. Just got out of the way.
That pitch misses. Not by much.
CSI faithful thought that was strike 3. A nice breaking ball from Kalika. But you said he just missed that one.
Comes the 2-2. And that is grounded just foul.
Sal's not appreciating how it screwed up the lines on that play. Sal's technique shown today. Another good day with the baseball lines here.
And the 2-2 is hit out to right field, slicing toward the line. Fair ball. And it looked like Martinez didn't think so.
It was by inches, Joe. That was a huge break for the Mavericks there, and now they have first and second. Nobody out.
And that's a big break for Mercy. As now, just like that, they are a base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate.
And no pitching change here, so Kalika will stay in the game. Trying to record that first out.
And that's bunted past Kalika on the infield, and that's a base hit. And a bad break for the Dolphins there as Kalika couldn't get to it. Good bunt in that spot as well from Sanders, and that's going to do it for the Dolphins starter.
Yeah, that's just a tough break for CSI. Kalika almost made the play there. It was a good bunt to that third base side. And now, bases loaded, nobody out. The tying run at the plate for the Mavericks. As you said, Joe, it's going to be a pitching change for the Dolphins. Alex Martinez will come in trying to keep this a 4-run lead.
Top of the 6th inning. Bases loaded for the Mavericks. Dolphins lead it by 4. New pitcher when we come back.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Alex Martinez into the game for the Dolphins. He inherits the bases loaded with nobody out. He will face John Nisko, who looks at ball one.
You see the corners for CSI, they are in. Potential throw at the plate.
Chopper on the infield. Weigel comes home, and Vigliotti wasn't ready for it. The throw gets away. Another run will score. Nisko will move up to second, and it looks like they have ruled interference on that play. So will that bring any of the runners back?
The right fielder, number 21, Zach Ashleen.
One of the coaches was sitting on one of the stools.
Well, it looked like they pointed at Weigel after that play had ended and may have called interference on him. That's a tough break for the Dolphins, who have seen their lead trimmed down to 2. Tying run now in scoring position, and that pitch is fouled back.
The problem with that play, Joe, is it was a chopper to third, and Weigel I don't think would have had a play at first base. So his only play was to home, but you said Vigliotti just was not ready for the play, and it cost the Dolphins now 2 runs.
And that's hit hard past the diving Cipoletti and into left field for a base hit. Nisko is being waved home. The throw is cut off, and the Mavericks have tied the score.
Goes from bad to worse for the Dolphins here. We are now knotted up at 8 apiece, a 4 spot, and still nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 13, Jaden Caballero.
That pitch misses down and away. Jaden Caballero at the plate. Want to know the count on Caballero.
Martinez could really afford a double play ball here.
Ashline, the runner over at first, and that one missed badly. They were appealing to see if Caballero swung.
He was attempting a bunt on that one.
And that's hit toward the middle and into center field for a base hit. The ball was bobbled. Ashline heads to third. And Caballero stops at first. As that one got away from Ulaj for a moment, he brings it in. And the Mavericks now have the go-ahead run 90 feet away and still nobody out.
This is just really a bad break for CSI in this inning. A lot of stuff has gone against them. Now they're going to have to warm up another pitcher in their bullpen. As it looks like it's going to be Aiden Keelty going to warm up for CSI.
Keelty out there in the bullpen for the Dolphins. There is action in the Mavericks bullpen as well.
Now 10 hits for Mercy after that last one. So both teams out in the double digits in the hit category today.
Hits favor the Dolphins 13-10. The Mavericks with 3 errors, the Dolphins with 2. Runner headed for second. No throw from Vigliotti. And the Mavericks now have 2 in scoring position.
And Giblin was showing bunt on that one. So the Mavericks trying to play small ball there, potentially get a suicide squeeze and take the lead.
Comes the 1-1. That misses badly for ball 2. Two and one on its way. And that's hit in the air, shallow right. Martinez is coming in. The runner is sent home. Play at the plate coming. Throw up the line, off target. And the Mavericks take the lead as Ashline slides in safely.
It's just been a very frustrating inning now for CSI. 5 spot for Mercy. They now have the lead once again, 9-8 on that sacrifice fly.
Close play at the plate. You'll get a second look at it right here. A good throw had him. And that throw was almost good enough. It was a bit up the line. If that throw is probably a foot closer to the plate, they have the out. The Dolphins certainly had a chance there as that's lined out to shallow right. Martinez can't make the sliding catch, and it rolls past him all the way out to the warning track. Glenister is into second base standing. Caballero scores, and the Mavericks now lead it 10-8.
Martinez trying to make the diving catch there to save, or I should say to try to get the second out of the inning, just could not make the play. Another run for Mercy. They now lead it 10-8. 6 here in the 6th for the Mavericks.
That first pitch misses badly to Sean McAdams. He's now ahead 1-0. We'll get a second look at that last play in just a moment as Martinez nearly made a diving catch. Perhaps may have been better served to let that ball fall. As that pitch is in for a strike. Here's another look. This may actually be the wrong play. We'll see. That is the correct play. Glenister didn't run. So that pitch is fouled back, and we return to live action. Off the bat, I think Glenister thought that was going to be a routine play. One and two the count. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Martinez needed that now. 2 away here in the 6th. But a dangerous bat in Stephen Schoen now coming up for the Mavericks.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 10, Stephen Schoen.
Schoen getting a look at a new pitcher here. He was seeing Stephen Kalika well. And Schoen takes ball 1. Schoen is officially just 1 for 2. Scored a couple of runs, had that big 3-run homer earlier. Schoen now ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. First base is open. That would set up a force at any base.
Would not be surprised to see him get walked here.
That's chopped through the left side for a base hit. And the Mavericks will score for the 8th time in this inning. It's an RBI single for Stephen Schoen, and Mercy takes an 11-8 lead.
What an inning for Mercy now. Correction, Joe. Now their 7th run of the inning. It's now 11-8. Schoen with a big-time hit there. Now 4 RBIs on the day for him. And now an 11-8 lead, their 12th hit of this game.
They got that run up there quick, huh?
Very, very quick.
Very quick. Pat's too good on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Patty Two Thumbs, perhaps? 0-1 pitch on its way, and that misses for a ball.
And when an inning like this happens, it can really, hurt a team's confidence going into the rest of the game. CSI is going to have to try to get back. They have come back already once in this game from a 3-run deficit. They'll have to do it once again if they're ordered to get a big win.
The count in left field reads 1-2. Ahead of that pitch, I had 1-1, and I can never tell if the signal
I can never tell
is
either.
in reverse or not, because not every umpire signals the same way.
Now, I would have to think it might be. Well, now it might be 2-2, and the only reason is because he's looking at the pitcher, right?
Yes, but
again,
umpires
it could be
still
wrong.
Signal both ways.
I'm not 100% sure.
We know there are 2 strikes.
Yes,
that much we know for sure.
And now there's
that
3.
Is strike 3. Gonzalez goes down swinging, and the inning is over, but not before the Mavericks score 7 times. They now have 12 base hits in the game, and they now have the lead. For the first time since the opening inning, the Mavericks led 3-0 after the top half of the first. They now lead by 3 once again. Our score, Mercy 11, Staten Island 8.
Shendi Ulaj will lead it here in the bottom of the 6th inning for CSI as the Mavericks regain the lead 11-8. A 7 spot for Mercy in the top of the 6th inning. CSI will look to try to tie this game or potentially take the lead. Shendi takes first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Now let's call for a strike, 1-1. Count will be 1-1 to Shendi Ulaj. And a good breaking ball just misses. Count now goes to 2-1. Count now going to 3-1 for Ulaj. CSI looking for an early base runner here. Matthew Manzuilo is the new pitcher for the Mavericks. This is his 8th appearance of the year, 12.86 ERA on the season. And he now makes the count full at 3-2. He's pitched just 7 innings of work. 10 hits, 10 runs, all earned. A .333 batting average for opponents. We can record an out number 1 here with a strikeout. As Ulaj hits that one foul. Count will remain 3-2 here. Mavericks do have another pitcher up in their bullpen.
Thank you, Nick.
You're on now, Joe.
So I thanked you off headset.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. Had to assist with some earned and unearned runs in that last inning, and it's a good thing I did.
They call you a statistician on the side as well. Happens.
Maybe I should add that to my profile on the Sportsnet page.
You could.
I think athletic communications coordinator encompasses stats as well.
Well, Shendi leads it off with a walk. Brings up Thomas Martin now.
Sal has to keep in mind that our viewers can hear him. Sal missed the last inning. He just returned to see the score. And let's just say Sal was a bit surprised and expressed his surprise with some colorful remarks as that swung on and missed. Count 0-2.
This broadcast might have to be changed to a rated M for mature.
Different kind of game. Comes the 0-2. And Martin strikes out.
Now batting, the catcher, number 44, A.J. Vigliotti.
That will bring A.J. Vigliotti to the plate. We saw Vigliotti injure his hand earlier. It looked like he may have been hit on a swing by the bat of a hitter. Though we weren't sure about that. That looked to be the case. And then catching warm-ups from Alex Martinez, he was shaking his hand out again. And Vigliotti looks at a breaking ball outside.
It's good to see him still in the lineup, but you have to believe that hand is bothering him as this game's going on.
Someone who's had hand issues before, they linger and do not heal quickly and can be very, very problematic, especially in the gym. As that's popped up, shallow right along the line and into foul territory. Count 1-1 on the Dolphins catcher.
Well, Sal just showed me a text. Apparently he was hurt on the air.
Who hurt him? Yikes.
We're going to have to clip that, maybe.
We're going to have to send Sal to another room. He's making unwanted cameos now. I don't need the FCC calling.
They called me the locksmith, Joe, but he's locking his mouth. He says he's not going to say another word.
We're going to call him Zip It from now on. Was that Dr. Evil who pioneered that term?
His $1 million?
$1 million. That's how many viewers we get per broadcast as that skips in for a ball. And look at this, Nick. The wasps are making themselves known outside. That is an insect on the camera.
What an image right there.
Well, until that clears up, we'll have to go to the wide shot.
This broadcast has been something else.
Of all the places to take a break and take in the good weather, right on our camera lens, Vigliotti looks at strike.
It's the only disadvantage with having good weather now.
Well, there's a hornet's nest up there. There's no question about it. We've had that problem in the past, and we've seen insects around the camera all day. None have come to rest in the lens. Makes my job easier. Vigliotti looks at strike 3. And there are now 2 gone.
Had some words for the home plate umpire. Did not like that strike 3 call. And now 2 away.
Runner on first is Ulaj, 2 gone. Vincent Weigel, 2 for 3 at the plate with a couple of RBIs and a run scored. Fouls that one back. And yes, the camera lens is still obstructed.
And it's on a really bad. It's on literally the corner of that camera lens.
We'll clear that up in between innings. Now
I'll have to give you the notepad.
There goes Sal, and you know he means business. You heard the way he.
Sal, you want the notepad?
He should take the notepad.
The question is, do we want?
It's not a weapon. It's for his protection.
The question is, do we want to show that to our live audience? We'll have to get it for our. Oh wait,
the lens is just cleared.
Sal didn't want to deal with it at all, so he's happy about it.
There is nobody here willing to confront the insects except me. Sal is about to be the first to brave nature out there as Weigel takes low. One ball and 2 strikes the count. And that's hit hard. Foul ball.
That was very close.
I thought it was fair off the bat.
I thought so too.
Count remains 1-2. One and 2 on its way. That's down low.
Now a 2-2 count here. Weigel trying to keep the inning going, give Dolphins the tying run at the plate. In that case, it would be John Casiglione if he were to get up.
Now, Nick, did you mention the new pitcher when I was next door?
I did.
You did. Good. I knew I could count on you. So that misses inside.
Hopefully I said his name right, but yes.
I would say Matthew Manzello.
No, I don't remember what I said.
I think
the E is what.
Zoei. I think it's pronounced Zell, but I could be wrong.
The E is what confused me.
Okay. I'll check on the runner at first. Is he on the pronunciation guide?
He is not.
Okay. Fairly certain that's Manzello.
Ulaj will be in motion on this pitch, 3-2.
They're not going to let him get a good head start. Dolphins went from trailing by 3 to leading by 5. Check out leading by 4 as that's chopped through the middle for a base hit. Ulaj will go first to third, and the Dolphins have runners on the corners with 2 away.
And now John Casiglione comes up as the tying run at the plate. Something into the gap could bring home both runners as CSI tries to trim this deficit once again.
Dolphins trailed by 3, led by 4, now trail by 3 again. chance to pull a bit closer here with a base hit. Castiglione comes to bat with Ulaj on third, Weigel on first, and 2 outs. That pitch is in for a called strike. Castiglione 0 for 3 in this game. Looking for a big first hit. And that won't do it. That's popped up. Foul ground. And the catch is made by Glenister for the final out of the inning. Dolphins strand 2 on base. They remain trailing by 3 as we head to the 7th. And we're back for the 7th inning. Dolphins trail by 3. Aiden Keelty into the game for CSI. First man he'll face in this inning is the left fielder Sanders. Gabe Sanders in this game, 1 for 3.
And they really need Keelty in this spot. Trailing by 3. Needs to keep it that way in order to give CSI a chance to win this game. Does have a 4.26 ERA on the season, his 10th appearance. Does have 1 game started, 19 innings pitched. He's allowed 20 hits, 15 runs, 9 of those earned, 10 strikeouts, and opponents are batting .260 on the year against them.
I think the question is right now, how many outs can you get out of him as he walks the first man he faces here in the 7th? And who's next in line?
It's tough because there is no one up in the CSI bullpen right now.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 11, John Nisco.
Looking at who's appeared in the most games, out of the Dolphins bullpen, Keelty 1, Martinez 2.
Then Retzlaff.
He started a couple of times, though. Here it only has him with 1 start. I thought he started twice, so that would put him 3rd. I believe he'd be tied for 3rd with Ryan Fiore. Fiore might be the next man out of the bullpen, if I had to guess. Should the Dolphins need someone else?
Hoping in this case they don't need to. But an early walk, give the Mavericks an opportunity to try to increase their lead.
Runner going. So that's bunted to Keelty's left. He flips to first, and there's one away. So at some point, our scoreboard malfunctioned once again. The inning is not correct. We were in the top of the 7th. So we'll get that fixed. The runner does advance to second on that successful sacrifice. One away. Zach Ashline, the batter. Ashline 2 for 3 in the game. A couple of RBIs. And he hits one out to deep left center field. Kehoe gives chase. And he makes the catch just shy of the warning track. 2 quick outs for Keelty after the leadoff walk.
Number 13, Jaden Caballero.
Here's a look at that last swing once again.
Kehoe's had a couple of those where he's had to track it down.
You can see just how deep in the left center field gap Kehoe played that ball. Jaden Caballero at the plate. He falls behind 0-1. And he looks at strike 2.
1 strike away from getting out of the inning, keeping it a 3-run game. Keelty looking for a big strikeout here.
And that's hit hard. Tough hop. It's short. Cipoletti handles it. And he throws out Caballero for the 3rd out of the inning. The Mavericks strand 1 in scoring position. They still lead by 3 as we head to the home 7th. Nick Cipoletti will lead off for the Dolphins in the bottom half of the 7th inning. CSI trails 11-8. One huge inning for the Mavericks in the 6th, put them in front.
And they're facing another new pitcher, Joe. Ryan Dieguez is in now.
Not mistaken, he pitched the final inning on Friday.
He pitched the last 1 1/3 of that game.
4 big outs for him late in that game. The Dolphins were threatening with the bases loaded late on Friday. And Dieguez was able to close the door. He's working quickly as that's popped up behind the plate. And Glenister has it against the backstop.
Nice shot by Glenister to track that one down. as the net almost became a problem for him on that play. Does record the first out of the inning.
Don't believe you can see the play on our wide shot. You can. But a nice play by Glenister. You have to take our word for it. Right up against the netting.
And for the first time today, we see Christopher Hayes come into the game as he's pinch hitting. Here, one away.
Hayes took a huge cut at that first pitch. And he fouls away the 0-1. He's now in a 2-strike hole.
Dolphins are looking for some kind of spark from their bats. Haven't really gotten them these last couple of innings, ever since they scored in every innings up until the 5th.
That pitch misses down in the dirt. Dolphins had a chance in the 6th. Returned aside, stranded 2 on base. Scored in each of the first 4 innings in this game. So that's fouled up and over our heads. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Quickly 2 away for the Mavericks here. Anthony Iracy will try to keep the inning going for the Dolphins.
That will bring Anthony Iracy to the plate. Iracy is 2 for 3 with a run scored. And he fouls the first pitch back.
Once again, a lot of activity up in the Maverick bullpen. 2 pitchers warming up for them.
And Iracy ducks down out of the way of that pitch. Count even at 1. That's it well out to right. Ashline battling the sun makes the catch. And the side is retired. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the 7th. Our score remains 11-8. Mercy over Staten Island. And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex. Top half of the 8th inning getting started. Aiden Kilty back to the mound for the Dolphins, and he is promptly greeted with a hard hit ball to left as Nolan Giblin leads off the inning with a base hit.
Another hit for this Maverick offense, and a leadoff single to start the top of the 8th inning. Kilty trying to keep this a 3-run game. A double play ball would definitely help him here.
That ball was smoked by Giblin. And you said it, Nick. Kilty could certainly use a double play ball in this spot. Justin Glenister looks at strike as he showed bunt on that pitch.
Seen a lot of that in these last couple of innings from the Mavericks. A lot of bunts, and it's worked in their favor.
Glenister 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles and an RBI. As Keelty bit off the mark with that pickoff attempt.
Martin saving it right there.
Oh, and 1 the count on the Mavericks catcher. The runner is going. Bunt is down. Weigel's throw to first in time.
Good executed bunt, though, from Glenister right there. A really tough throw from Weigel. Just gets the out at first. Runner does advance to second. First base now open, but a nice out number 1 for the Dolphins.
Not sure if Weigel ever made his way into the frame of our pitcher-batter camera, but there's a look at the wide shot on that last play. That was far from routine for Weigel, who had to charge in hard to make sure he got there in time. Sean McAdams at the plate now. Once again, a chance for the runner in scoring position for the Mavericks. They've been good in these spots, especially in the 2 games played here.
And here's the problem, Joe, now that the count going to 2-0. Even if you do walk him to make it first and second, Steven Schoen on deck, who already has had a home run in this game and could have easily had a second one on deck, it's going to be really tough for Keelty to try to get an out here. Really needs to try to get a second out before Schoen gets up.
Well, if you're Keelty, you hope to not use that open base here, and then you have it if Schoen comes to the plate. That ball's hit hard into left center field. That's down for a base hit. 1 run will come in to score easily. And stopping at first with an RBI single is Sean McAdams.
8 unanswered runs now for the Mavericks. McAdams brings home 1 right there. 12-8 now here in the top of the 8th inning. Mercy is on a great stretch here these last couple of innings.
Said it earlier, Nick. When the Dolphins need outs late in games, they have had very few places to turn. Keelty has been among their best out of the bullpen. But he is scored upon here in the 8th. The Mercy lead is extended to 4. And the inning continues with Steven Schoen at the plate. His team ahead by 4. And the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the Dolphins starting to run out of time. The last 3 innings, they have not scored a run. They really got to do something here in the bottom of the 8th inning, but they need Keelty to keep it within reach. Really could use a double play ball here.
There is some stretching going on in the Dolphins' bullpen. And it looks like I was right, Nick. Ryan Fiore appears to be getting loose out there. Schoen looks at a strike. Comes the 1-2. Runner going. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw to second. Not in time.
Almost a strike him out, throw him out on that play. It is a stolen base, but Dolphins do get that second out of the inning. And Gonzalez will have a chance to try to bring home that runner from second to increase the Maverick lead to 5.
I'm not sure the Dolphins could have been set up any better for a strike him out, throw him out, double play there. That was a perfect pitch to throw on for Vigliotti. But a great jump over at first base ensured that McAdams would beat the throw. Joseph Gonzalez, the batter. He's ahead 1-0. And he looks at ball 2.
First base once again open here. Keelty would not like to walk and bring up Sanders on deck, but does have that option.
2-0 coming, and that's ball 3. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. And that's it well to deep right center field. Kehoe on the move. He won't get there as that rolls all the way to the warning track. It's going to be an RBI double for Joseph Gonzalez. And with that, the Mavericks now lead it by 5.
A shot into right center field for Gonzalez. Now a 5-run lead for Mercy here in the top of the 8th inning. 9 straight unanswered runs for Mercy. They are really doing a great job at the plate today, as now I believe that's their 15th hit, Joe.
That is indeed number 15, and here's a second look at it. That ball was hit as well as any ball the Mavericks have hit all day, with the exception of that home run by Schoen. Ball gets away from Vigliotti, and the runner takes third.
And you can just see the Dolphins are very frustrated with how this game has gone, especially in these later parts of this game. Just really has gotten away from CSI.
Keelty had that pitch get away from him, and you can see the frustration not only from Vigliotti after that last ball got away, but from Keelty following that last pitch. Dolphins still have time. There's 6 outs to play with. They need to get this third out right here.
Cannot afford another run from coming in. They need to get the final out, as you said.
It's chopped to third, and Weigel can't make the diving stop. He's already made a couple of great plays over at the hot corner today. Couldn't make that one. And it's an RBI single on the play for Gabe Sanders. The Mavericks now lead it by 6.
Just really getting away from CSI now. Now a 3 spot here in the top of the 8th inning. 14-8 here is the score. 16th hit now for Mercy. And they are looking to keep it going.
Dolphins have had no answer during the last 3 innings. Outs have been tough to come by. 0-1 the count on John Nisko, who gets jammed a bit. That's out to left, shallow, and Kehoe can't make the diving catch. They will hold the runner Sanders at third. Throw goes to second, and Nisko sneaks in there safely.
Weigel did a good job of cutting that one off and almost got the throw to second in time. But Nisko just got there, and now 2 runners to score position for the Mavericks. And they could make this a 10-run game, or I should say an 8-run game with a single right here.
A lot to unpack on that play as Kehoe made a bid for another spectacular diving catch in center field. Wouldn't be the first time he's made one of those, as that's lined into left for another Mavericks hit. And Nick, you said it, a single scores 2. It's extended to a double as Ashline drives in 2 more, and Mercy has broken this game wide open. They now lead CSI 16-8.
Iracy looked like bobbled the ball in left field, leading to the advancement to second. And Mike Morrow has seen enough. It's going to be a pitching change here for CSI, as now the game is 16-8 for Mercy.
Dolphins just have not been able to get outs. Keelty struggling here in this inning as you get another look at that last base hit. That one sent into left field. 2 runs come in to score. And it looks like Keelty is staying in, or they already pulled him?
They already pulled him.
They already pulled him. And that is indeed Ryan Fiore, who will come on to pitch for the Dolphins. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Dolphins trail 16-8, still looking for the third out here in the 8th inning. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. 5 more runs home for the Mercy College Mavericks. They lead CSI 16-8. First pitch thrown by Ryan Fiore is popped up on the infield, and Shendi Ulaj makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Mavericks take the lead in hits in this game. They now have 18 to CSI's 14, and in the run column, they lead Staten Island 16-8. Michael Kehoe to lead things off for the Dolphins here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. CSI now trails by 8 runs. Our score 16-8. Distant memory in this game. The Dolphins at one point led 8-4. And that lead got away in the 6th. And the deficit has only grown since.
12 unanswered runs for Mercy. 7th spot in the 6th, a 5 spot here in the top of the 8th. Dolphins will need a big-time comeback if they're going to be able to pull this one out.
Kehoe behind, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's chopped foul.
Count now 1-2 for Michael Kehoe here.
Ducks out of the way of that pitch.
Still a lot of activity up in that Maverick bullpen. 2 pitchers are warming up.
That's chopped through the right side for a base hit. And the Dolphins have the leadoff man on here in the 8th.
Well, if you're going to make a big-time comeback, you got to start early in the inning. That's a good start for CSI. They'll need to get a nice rally here with nobody out. Shendi Ulaj will have a chance here. Try to get CSI a chance.
The Dolphins have 15 hits in this game and trail by 8 runs. That is unbelievable.
It's a weird stat to see on the scoreboard, but that is indeed the case.
They've swung the bats really well today.
But unfortunately for them, Joe, those came in the first 4 innings of this game. As these last 3 innings have gone for them, they have not been able to do anything offensively. They've had their chances, they just have not been able to bring home runs.
It's taken inside by Ulaj for ball 2. If there's one thing Dieguez doesn't want to do, it's start walking batters. Make the Dolphins earn it up there.
Especially with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up.
Now we asked the question, who's next in line for the Dolphins? That was Fiore. Who would be next in line for the Mavericks if Dieguez needs relief?
Curious, I'm trying to see who the numbers are in the bullpen.
That's chopped to short, could be 2. Throw to second for 1. Turn to first in time. 6-4-3 double play.
Oh, that's one way to kill a potential rally for CSI. 6-4-3 double play, and now there's 2 away.
Well, I'm just glad Sal had nothing to say about that one.
I don't know if he heard you.
I don't think he did, but I know you know what I meant.
I do.
Thomas Martin, the batter. And Martin looks at ball 1. Here's another look at that double play. And Martin is ahead 2-0 now. That's fouled away.
Talked about those games against Lincoln coming up for CSI with the score that it is right now in this game. Those games against Lincoln are really now more bigger than ever. CSI really needs to get some wins down the stretch if they're going to have any opportunity to make it the playoffs.
Dolphins would have had quite a bit of room for error if they won this game today, because you would have the opportunity to tie with Mercy in the standings and still secure a tiebreaker. As that's lined over the glove of Gonzalez at short for a base hit. Martin takes the turn. He heads for second. Throw coming in, not in time. And it's a 2-out double for Thomas Martin, his second hit of the game.
And a big break for Mercy that they had the double play ball before. Martin with a nice screeching line drive into left center field for a 2-out double. And A.J. Vigliotti will look to bring him home to try to trim the deficit to 7.
That ball just cleared the glove of Gonzalez over at short. Good awareness by Martin to extend that into a double. He was hustling out of the box all the way, as Vigliotti just got a piece of that one and fouls it off. Vigliotti in this game 1 for 3. And the 0-1's chopped foul. To the count on the Dolphins catcher. Dieguez checks Martin at second. Here comes the 0-2. And once again, that's chopped foul.
You can kind of see in this at bat, Joe. Vigliotti in the last 2 pitches has been out in front. Just able to get a piece of it to keep it foul and stay alive in the at bat.
Oh, 0-2 upcoming. And that breaking ball misses high. Here's the 1-2. And Vigliotti fights off another one foul.
Looking to force a mistake pitch here with all these foul balls. Count still 1-2.
Here's another 1-2 pitch. Vigliotti reached for that one. Hits it softly to short. Throw to first in time. And the side is retired. Dolphins strand 1 in scoring position. The lone hit in the inning belongs to Martin. And the Mavericks maintain an 8-run lead. Our score 16-8 heading to the 9th. Mavericks lead the Dolphins 16-8 as we begin play here in the 9th inning. First pitch from Ryan Fiore is in for a called strike. At the plate for Mercy, Nolan Giblin, 1 for 4 in this game with an RBI and a run scored. Fiore's pitch on its way, and that's on the outside corner.
I was going to say, Joe, we have a defensive substitution for CSI. Vigliotti's out of the game. Nick Campisi now is behind the plate.
Now, did we announce Michael Crocco into right field earlier? I know we knew about it. I don't know if we brought it up on the air.
I don't think we did bring it up in the air.
Michael Crocco is in right field. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Giblin. And he looks at that pitch just high.
I don't think we had a chance with the way the inning went for the Mavericks. We really didn't have an opportunity to bring that up. So the Dolphins now with some defensive substitutions late in this game.
That's fouled away. We touched on it earlier, but this game has big implications in the East Coast Conference playoff standings. Dolphins are 3-8. Barring a comeback, they fall to 3-9. The Mavericks are 4-11. With a win, they would improve to 5-11. As that one's fouled away. That would give the Mavericks 2 games over CSI in the win column, but they would be 2 games behind the Dolphins in the loss column. So the Dolphins still control their own destiny, but they have 4 of those 12 remaining conference games against St. Thomas Aquinas. Right now the best team in the conference, as Giblin swings and misses for strike 3.
Those are going to be really tough games coming up. So CSI really needs to try to control their destiny, as you said, Joe. Got to get some wins here and there if they're going to have any opportunity.
At the plate now, Justin Glenister. He's 2 for 4. And he looks at that pitch down and away for ball 1. Comes the 1-0. That's in for a strike. Count now 2-1. Is Fiore's pitch. Good breaking ball, and that catches the corner.
A 2-2 count here. Could record 2 quick outs at the top of the 9th inning.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's down in the dirt. Dolphin pitching in this game has issued just 2 walks. Here's the payoff pitch. And Fiore lost his footing on the mound.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 7, Sean McAdams.
That will bring Sean McAdams to the plate.
And we're going to have a pinch runner at first for the Mavericks.
We'll wait for that pinch runner to be announced into the game. Tough for us to tell without the binoculars.
I would say that's number 25, Kalongi Goins at first. Saw him pinch run on Friday.
I think you're right. There's a swing and a miss at that first pitch. McAdams at the plate in this game, 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Also has an RBI. There's the 0-1. And that's hit well down the left field line, but well foul. That's not the first time we've seen McAdams turn on one down that left field line.
Trying to get the 19th hit of the game for Mercy there.
He's had a tough time keeping the ball fair. Comes the 0-2. That's hit well to left field once again, carrying toward the corner, and that is off the base of the wall. And it looks like they may have ruled it a ground rule double. Though the umpire appeared to point to second. That was not indicating that the batter should be placed there. Not exactly sure what that was. That is a long single.
I think the problem was that they thought it might have been a home run, and that ball did carry. Off the bat, it didn't look like it was going to carry that much, and it did. Thankfully for the Dolphins, it does not go out of the park. But you're right, it is a long single for McAdams. As Goins is going to third, and he's going to be in there.
So what happened on that play is that they made a fair or foul call from behind home plate. That's what the point was. I thought the umpire was pointing to second base, indicating that the batter should be placed at second. Now, on rare occasion, the ball, at softball anyway, can find its way under the outfield fence. There are some areas where the fence doesn't entirely meet the warning track, so the ball can get under there. That happened once last season, and that ultimately cost the Dolphins a game. But that ball stayed in the ballpark, not by much. That was awfully close to being the second Mavericks home run of the game. Speaking of Mavericks home runs, the man who hit the Mercy long ball is at the plate right now. Stephen Schoen ahead 2-1. He takes down and away for ball 3.
First base is open. With Gonzalez on deck.
Here's the 3-1. There's a big swing and a miss for strike 2.
He was looking for home run number 2 of the day right there.
Comes the payoff pitch. And that's off the inside corner for ball 4.
And now the bases are loaded for Mercy here. As they look to put this game well out of reach for the Dolphins.
Number 12, Joseph Gonzalez.
A base hit here can make it a 10-run game. Getting an opportunity to do that will be Joseph Gonzalez. He's 2 for 5. First pitch hit in the air. Out to shallow right. Ulaj ranges back and he makes the catch. Mavericks will draw a throw, but will not attempt to score. And there are 2 away.
Now batting the left fielder, number 16, Gabe Sanders.
That will bring Gabe Sanders to the plate. Sanders is 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Pitch on its way, and that breaking ball's in for a strike. Comes the 0-1. That's chopped foul.
Oh.
0-2 the count. Fiore 1 strike away from stranding the bases loaded. That's popped up, but foul. Fiore looking for a scoreless ninth. We've had a combined 35 hits in this game. And we're still under 3 hours. As that misses up and in.
And if Dolphins want to have any chance, so they're going to need a lot of them in the bottom of the ninth inning to keep the hit tally going.
Comes the 1-2. And that's swung on and missed for strike 3. Fiore picks up the strikeout and strands the bases loaded. The Dolphins will be looking for a ninth inning rally when we come back. And we are back for the bottom half of the ninth inning. Dolphins trail 16-8. Anthony Cetera comes to the plate for CSI as a pinch hitter, and he looks at ball one.
Cetera, and it looks like Jake Myers will be the first two bats for CSI in this bottom of the ninth.
That pitch is fouled away for the first strike. One and one the count on Cetera. That's taken inside. And we have a new pitcher for the Mavericks as well. That's Ryan DeMille, who comes out of the Mercy bullpen. And Cetera gets ahead 3-1.
I believe there's also a new catcher behind the plate for the Mavericks.
Hopefully they got it right today next door.
Hopefully.
So that's popped up. They can't blame you this time.
They cannot.
Catch is made in center field by Caballero for the first out.
How quickly it was to be...
you were tossed right under the bus.
It was not hesitation on that one. Sal's saying tisk tisk.
Nico Soros behind the plate. No question about it today. We can see the number through the gear.
It was very tough on Friday.
That pitch is in for a strike. 0-2 the count on Myers. That's a big swing and a miss for strike 3.
Dolphins are down to their last out, and it'll be Joe Salido coming up.
Now batting, the pinch hitter number 13, Joe Salido.
Salido comes in with just 12 at-bats on the season. He looks at a strike here. 1 for 12 thus far. That's sent foul. And with that, the Dolphins are down to their final strike. Comes the 0-2. That's chopped foul. That pitch just missed outside. If Salido can keep the inning going, Michael Crocco would be next. Comes the 1-2. That's it out to right center, falling fast, and that's down for a base hit.
17 hits now for the Dolphins on the day. Salido gets a pinch hit single. Keeps the game going, and Michael Crocco now coming up to plate.
Second hit of the season for Salido. Michael Crocco will get a chance here with 2 outs in the ninth. Crocco 1 for 14 on the season. And he looks at a ball. And the 1-0 is hit hard, right back up the middle for another Dolphins hit.
Back-to-back hits for CSI here. 18 for the game. And Anthony Iracy trying to make it 19. Dolphins try to continue this 2-out rally.
Dolphins trail on the hits column 19-18 and are trailing in the game by 8 runs. Not often you see that. And when you do see it, it's typically walks and errors that are the difference. But I think today it was extra base hits versus singles. A lot of extra base hits for Mercy in this game. One and one the count. That's taken inside. Iracy in this game has 2 base hits and 4 at-bats. If he can keep it going, we do not know who the on-deck batter will be. That spot is vacant right now. And the 2-1 is in for a called strike.
There's Michael Keogh on deck.
Probably had to get his batting gloves. With 2 outs in the inning and the base is empty, he probably wasn't sure he'd get a chance. And that catches the outside corner for a called strike 3. And with that, the ball game is over. The Mavericks come from 4 runs down to beat the Dolphins by 8. They take 3 out of 4 in this 4-game conference series. And if these 2 teams should tie in the conference standings at the end of the year, the tiebreaker will belong to the Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, for the CSI, it's a really tough one. They had a great 4-run lead at one point. really got away from them in that 6th inning. The Mavericks scoring 7 runs in that 6th. They added 5 more in the 8th inning, 12 unanswered runs to finish the game for Mercy, and they take 3 out of 4 in this series. CSI is going to need to do some work, and they're going to have a chance to make the playoffs this year.
Dolphins have 12 conference games remaining, and this has to be a really disappointing one for CSI. They had the lead by 4. Stephen Kalika pitched pretty well in this game. He got the Dolphins into the 6th, ran into some trouble early in that inning, and from there, things began to spiral out of control for the Dolphins. The bullpen just could not get outs with any consistency. The Mavericks finished the game with 19 hits. They had 17 or more hits twice in the 4 games against CSI. On a more positive note for the Dolphins, the bats really came alive early in this game. On the other side of that, the Dolphins did not score in the last 5 innings.
And that's a credit to the Mavericks pitching and their bullpen these last couple of innings of this game. Early on, it looked like CSI was going to have a field day when it came to batting. They did have 18 hits in this game, but you said it earlier in the broadcast, it really came down to the difference between singles and extra base hits. The Mavericks had a lot of those in this game, and they were able to take advantage of that. They had those 2 big late innings, and they were able to win this one by 8 runs. They get a big-time wave, of momentum boost going into their last couple of games of the season. Dolphins still have some stuff to look, into in this game. Their hitting was good, but they need to fix their bullpen issues. So they're going to have a chance.
No question about that. The Dolphins need to figure out how they're going to record crucial outs late in games, especially with the lead. They had a commanding 4-run advantage. That evaporated quickly, and the Mavericks seized control of the game from there. So for baseball, their next games will be on the road at Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. Those are conference games. The Lions, an affiliate member of the ECC. The Dolphins head there for their next 4 games. Those will be played on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next weekend. The next time we see the Dolphins will be Saturday, April 29th. So nearly 2 weeks until we see the Dolphins again here at home. When we do see them next, it will be for a doubleheader against St. Thomas Aquinas College. You know the Dolphins will have to be playing their best baseball against the Spartans. As for our next broadcast, that will be on Tuesday down at the softball diamond as the Dolphins take on Queens College. Softball in a really tough spot in terms of conference playoff positioning. They're in desperate need of conference wins. They will get their first chance at some more of those on Tuesday. You can catch that broadcast right back here on CSI Sportsnet, a proud part of the ECC network. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman, and for my broadcast partner Nick Bavona and all of us here at the College of Staten Island, thank you for watching. Our final score here this afternoon, the Mercy College Mavericks 16 and the College of Staten Island 8. We will see you on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night.